Have you ever woken up and just felt different? Not sick, not in pain, just not yourself. Like the energy you once had has quietly packed up and left in the middle of the night. You get out of bed, and it's as if gravity got stronger. The things that used to be simple, tying your shoes, walking up a flight of stairs, standing for a few minutes too long, suddenly feel like small mountains. It's frustrating, right? You're still you, but your body feels like it's not keeping up. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. And no, it's not just getting old. A lot of what we experience after 60 isn't inevitable aging. It's the result of quiet, sneaky habits that slowly take a toll on your health without you even noticing. They don't announce themselves. They don't hurt at first, but over time, they can quietly shave off years of your life, stealing time, energy, and freedom. That's why we're here today, because I believe it's not too late. Not by a long shot. Today we're going to talk about 5 habits that might be stealing up to 10 years from your life after 60 without you even realizing it. And more importantly, we're going to talk about how to stop them starting today. Let's begin with something deceptively simple. Hydration. Yes, I know you've heard it 1,000 times, but hear me out, because if you're not drinking enough water after 60, it's more dangerous than you think. As we age, our sense of thirst becomes weaker. You might not even feel thirsty, even when your body desperately needs water. And when you're dehydrated, everything slows down. Your digestion, your circulation, even your brain. You might feel tired, foggy, or sluggish and blame it on age, but often it's just dehydration. So here's something simple you can do. Start your morning with a full glass of water. Before coffee, before breakfast. Just plain water. It wakes up your organs, helps flush out toxins, and starts your day on the right foot. You'll be amazed how something so small can shift your entire morning. Now let's talk about the second habit, stillness. And I'm not talking about peaceful meditation. I'm talking about not moving, sitting too long, lying down too much, spending more time in a chair than on your feet. I get it. Your knees might ache, your back might feel stiff, and sitting just feels easier. But here's the harsh truth. The longer you sit still, the faster your muscles weaken. And once muscle loss starts, it doesn't just make you weaker. It affects your balance, your posture, your independence. So what can you do? You don't need to join a gym or start doing jumping jacks. Just get up, walk around the house, march in place during commercials, stretch your arms over your head. Every hour, make it a habit to move. Just a little. Your muscles will thank you. And your future self will too. The third habit might surprise you. Skipping meals, especially breakfast. It's common for people over 60 to lose their appetite or not feel hungry in the mornings. But when you go too long without eating, your metabolism slows down even more, your blood sugar drops, and your energy fades. Skipping meals might seem harmless, but it signals your body to hold on to fat and reduce muscle, exactly what we don't want as we get older. So what's the fix? Keep it simple. A small bowl of oatmeal, a banana, or even a boiled egg. Anything that gives your body the signal to wake up and fuel itself. Eating regularly also keeps your mind sharp, your mood stable, and your body running efficiently. Now I know what you might be thinking. I'm already in my 60s or 70s. What difference will these small things make now? And here's my honest answer. A huge difference. Because the body is always listening. It never stops healing. It never stops adjusting. You just have to give it the right signals. It's not about turning back the clock. It's about stopping it from speeding up. These quiet habits, hydration, movement, regular meals, they're like tiny investments, small actions that build a stronger, healthier tomorrow. And isn't that what we all want? More time to do the things we love, more energy to spend with the people we care about, and more peace in knowing we're doing everything we can to stay well. But physical habits are just one piece of the puzzle. Because health isn't just about your body, it's about your mind too. And if you've ever walked into a room and forgotten why you went there, or found yourself searching for the right word in the middle of a conversation, you already know how aging can affect the brain. But here's the good news, it doesn't have to. There are things you can do starting today to stay sharp, focused, and mentally strong, even decades from now. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about how to keep your brain alert and your memory strong, not just through puzzles or games, but through powerful daily practices that engage your mind in meaningful ways. Because a strong body is important, but a sharp, clear mind. That's what keeps life rich and fulfilling. Let's dive into that next. Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went there? Or maybe you're in the middle of a conversation, and suddenly the word you need just slips away. It's frustrating, isn't it? You might even start to wonder, is this just what happens now? Is this the beginning of decline? Let me tell you something important. Forgetfulness is common, but it's not a life sentence. Your brain is still alive, still growing, still capable of building new connections. But just like your body, your mind needs the right kind of fuel, movement, and attention to stay strong. And if we don't give it that, the brain begins to slow down quietly, just like those physical habits we talked about earlier. Little by little it loses sharpness, but that can be prevented. In fact, you can even sharpen it again, starting right now. Let's begin with a small but powerful shift: mental exercise. Your brain craves challenge. When life becomes too routine, same morning, same afternoon, same TV shows, same conversations, your mind starts to coast, and coasting is the beginning of decline. You've got to wake it up again. One of the simplest ways to do that: learn something new. It doesn't have to be a college course or a complicated skill. It can be a new hobby, learning a few words in another language, taking up painting, writing in a journal, or even trying a new card game. Every time you challenge your brain with something unfamiliar, it's like taking it to the gym. Neurons fire, connections form, and your brain gets stronger, just like a muscle. Even better, combine mental activity with routine variation. If you always take the same walk, try a new route. If you always eat the same meals, try a new recipe. Changing your patterns forces your brain to stay alert and engaged, and it reminds you that there's still so much out there to explore and enjoy. But sharpening your mind isn't just about puzzles and hobbies. One of the most powerful tools for mental clarity is social connection. Now this one can be tricky. After 60, a lot of people find their circles shrinking, friends move, family gets busy, and slowly you might start spending more time alone, not by choice, but by circumstance. But here's what most people don't realize. Loneliness doesn't just make you feel sad, it actually changes the brain. It increases stress hormones, affects sleep, and can even speed up memory loss. So what can you do? Start small. Call someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Join a local walking group, a book club, or a community class. Even chatting with someone at the grocery store or a neighbor walking by, those little moments of connection make a difference. Your brain lights up when it engages with others, and that light, it protects you. Another powerful strategy is mindfulness, not the kind where you need to sit cross-legged in silence for hours. I'm talking about just being present. Taking 5 minutes a day to breathe, to focus on what's around you, to feel your heartbeat, and listen to the world. It calms the mind, reduces stress, and it helps you remember more, because when you're truly present, your brain captures more detail. You see, mental sharpness isn't just about memory games, it's about engagement. Staying involved with life, staying curious, staying connected. It's about refusing to shrink your world just because time is moving forward. You still have so much left to see, to feel, to learn, and your mind, it's still hungry for it. Here's a quick exercise to try tomorrow morning. Before you get out of bed, name 3 things you're curious about. They can be anything. Why do birds migrate? How do I make a better cup of coffee? What was my favorite memory from childhood? Then spend just 10 minutes that day, exploring one of those things. Read, watch, listen, reflect. That tiny act of curiosity, it keeps your brain alive. Now, let's talk briefly about something many people avoid: mental health. After 60, many silently experience anxiety, low moods, or even depression, but they don't talk about it. They write it off as part of getting older. But it's not. It's not weakness. It's not shameful. It's your mind asking for help. And just like you wouldn't ignore chest pain, you shouldn't ignore emotional pain either. Start by being honest with yourself and with someone else. Maybe a friend, a counselor, or even your doctor. Talking is healing. You don't have to carry everything alone. And remember, mental health doesn't mean eliminating all stress. It means building resilience, finding little anchors that bring you peace. Maybe it's music, gardening, prayer, a walk in the morning sun. Whatever makes your spirit settle. That's your medicine. By now you might be realizing something important. The habits that protect your mind are often the same ones that protect your heart. And that's where we're going next. Because once your body is cared for and your mind is engaged, the next chapter is about your emotional health. And if we're being honest, this part is just as essential as the rest, maybe even more. Because what's the point of feeling physically healthy and mentally sharp if inside you're carrying sadness, regret, or emotional exhaustion? In the next part, we're going to explore that side of the story. The quiet emotional habits that either lift you up or slowly wear you down. And we'll talk about how to build emotional strength, one small soul-healing step at a time. Let's talk about that next. Let me ask you something that most people never say out loud after 60. How are you really feeling? Not physically, but emotionally. Do you ever feel like life has gotten quieter, not just in noise but in meaning? Maybe the days blend together, the phone doesn't ring as much, holidays feel different now, and there are moments perhaps in the stillness of the evening where a subtle ache rises in your chest, not pain, but something more complicated. A mix of loneliness, loss, or just the weight of time passing. If you felt this, you are not alone. Emotional changes are real. They are part of aging, but they are not something you have to accept as permanent. You see, emotional health is not a luxury, it's a lifeline. And the truth is, ignoring it can quietly shorten your life just as much as physical habits can. So let's talk about what's really going on beneath the surface, and how we can start healing, gently, intentionally, one day at a time. First, we need to address one of the most silent, emotional killers after 60: isolation. It creeps in without warning. You stop going out as often, friends move or pass on, family members get busy, and slowly the circle around you shrinks. Days go by without meaningful conversation, without laughter, without touch, and your soul starts to feel empty. But let me be clear, you were not meant to go through this part of life alone. Connection is a need, not a luxury. Human beings thrive when they feel seen, heard, and valued. And even if your social world has changed, you can rebuild it. Start small: one call, one message, one walk with a neighbor. Join something local, even if it feels awkward at first. The first steps are always the hardest, but they are also the most healing. Here's a truth that might surprise you. Studies show that emotional connection, having even just one or two strong relationships, can increase your lifespan by years. That's how powerful it is. The second emotional habit we have to talk about is suppressed grief. After 60, you've likely experienced loss of people, roles, dreams, routines. But here's what often happens: instead of letting yourself grieve, you push it down. You say, "I'm fine," or "I've got to stay strong." And over time, that bottled up emotion turns into fatigue, resentment, and disconnection from life itself. Grieving doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're human. So take the time to sit with your feelings. Cry if you need to. Write a letter to the person or version of yourself you've lost. Talk to someone about it. And remember, grief doesn't move in a straight line. It moves in waves. Some days will feel harder than others. That's okay. What matters is that you let the waves come and trust that they will also pass. Now, on the flip side of grief, there is a tool that's just as powerful, and it's completely within your reach: gratitude. Every morning before the world creeps in, take 60 seconds and name 3 things you're grateful for. Don't overthink it. Maybe it's the fact that you woke up, the softness of your pillow, a memory, a grandchild's laugh, a favorite meal. Gratitude is not about pretending everything's perfect. It's about noticing the beauty that still exists. And every time you do, your brain rewires just a little bit toward peace, toward joy, toward hope. Gratitude brings perspective. It reminds you that even though time has passed, life is still happening, and you're still a part of it. Now let's talk about self-care. Not the kind they show in magazines with bubble baths and spa days, although those are nice too. I'm talking about real self-care. The kind where you listen to yourself again, where you ask, "What do I need today?" and then you honor it. Maybe it's 10 minutes of silence. Maybe it's sitting outside with a cup of tea. Maybe it's putting your hand over your heart and telling yourself, "I'm doing the best I can." That is self-care. That is emotional nourishment, and it matters more than ever now. There's another piece to this too: self-kindness. A lot of us carry decades of self-criticism. We look back and think about the things we should have done, the people we let down, the dreams we didn't chase, and without meaning to, we punish ourselves silently, year after year. But here's what I want to tell you today. You've done more than you realize. You've survived things most people don't even talk about. You've kept going. And no matter what mistakes you think you made, you still have today. And today is a chance to forgive yourself, to be proud of yourself, to move forward with love. Because the truth is, when your emotional health is strong, everything else gets easier. Your body heals faster, your memory improves, your motivation returns. You begin to laugh more, love more, and live more. And isn't that the goal? So right now, I want you to think of one emotional habit you're willing to shift. Just one. Maybe it's being more open about how you feel. Maybe it's calling someone today. Maybe it's letting go of something that's weighed you down for too long. Whatever it is, start now. Don't wait. You deserve emotional peace. And now that we've talked about the emotional side of aging, the heart of it, let's shift into something more practical. Because living well isn't just about how you feel inside. It's also about what you do every single day. Your routines, your choices, your habits. In the next part, we're going to talk about the simple daily actions that make the biggest difference. The kinds of habits that may seem small, but have the power to add years to your life, strength to your body, and joy to your everyday. Let's talk about those next. Let's take a moment to think about something simple but powerful. What does your average day look like? Not a special day, not a holiday, just an ordinary Tuesday. What do you do when you wake up? What do you eat? How do you move? Who do you talk to? What fills your time? Because here's the truth most people overlook. Your daily routine quietly shapes your future. Not the big events, not the once-in-a-while efforts, but the tiny things you do, or don't do, day after day. And the good news, even the smallest positive change, done consistently, can create massive results over time. Let's start with one of the most underrated daily habits: sunlight. You'd be amazed how many people, especially after 60, stop spending time outdoors. Whether it's mobility issues, discomfort, or just getting used to being indoors, it happens more often than you'd think. But natural sunlight, even just 15 minutes a day, can change everything. Sunlight helps regulate your sleep, lifts your mood, and gives your body a much-needed dose of vitamin D. And vitamin D isn't just a nice-to-have. It's critical for bone strength, immune support, and even mental health. Without it, you might feel tired, achy, foggy, or even depressed. So if it's safe and accessible for you, step outside in the morning, sit on a bench, water a few plants, walk around the block. You don't need to break a sweat, just let the light touch your skin. Let your body know the day has begun. And if the weather's not friendly, sit near a window, light still matters. Next up, stretching. Now I know some people think, stretching, that's not real exercise, but hear me out. As we age, our muscles naturally tighten, our joints stiffen, and that stiffness can sneak into your life until one day, bending down to pick something up or turning your neck becomes a challenge. But regular stretching, even just 5 minutes in the morning, can change that. It improves flexibility, reduces aches, boosts circulation, and helps prevent falls. And you don't need a fancy routine. Just reach for the sky, roll your shoulders, gently twist from side to side, stretch your arms and legs while sitting, breathe deeply as you move. These small movements remind your body that it's still alive, still capable, still yours to care for. Another essential habit: eating real food and doing it regularly. I'm not here to give you a diet. No one likes being told what not to eat. But what I can say is this: as we get older, our bodies process nutrients differently. We lose muscle faster. Our bones need more support. Our gut becomes more sensitive. That means the food we choose matters more now than ever before. So aim for simplicity, whole foods, fewer processed snacks, more color on your plate. Think fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats. And make sure you're eating enough. Some people start eating less after 60, whether due to appetite changes or budget. but undereating can weaken your muscles, your mind, and your immune system. You don't need a fancy meal plan, just aim for balance. And if cooking feels like a chore, prep something simple ahead of time, or share meals with a friend or neighbor. It makes eating more joyful and connection more natural. Let's talk now about sleep, because it's one of the biggest daily habits that affects how we age, and yet it's often the most neglected. Have you noticed your sleep patterns changing? Maybe you wake up earlier, or it takes longer to fall asleep, or you wake up more often during the night. That's normal, but what's not okay is ignoring poor sleep, night after night, and calling it just part of aging, because poor sleep affects everything: your memory, your blood pressure, your mood, your energy, and over time it can contribute to serious health issues. So how do you improve sleep without reaching for pills every night? Start by creating a wind-down ritual. Turn off screens an hour before bed. Lower the lights. Drink something warm like chamomile tea. Read a calming book. Stretch. Listen to soft music. Remind your body and mind it's time to rest. And try to keep your sleep and wake times consistent. Your body loves rhythm. It wants to know what to expect. Now here's something people rarely mention: laughter. Yes, laughter, joy, humor, play. These are daily habits too. When was the last time you laughed until your belly hurt? Or even cracked a smile without trying? Laughter isn't just fun, it's medicine. It lowers stress hormones, strengthens your heart, and boosts your immune system. So make time for joy. Watch a comedy, share a funny story, talk to someone who always makes you smile. Don't underestimate how healing laughter can be. And finally, purpose. This one isn't as obvious as stretching or eating well, but it's just as important. Because when we lose a sense of purpose, we start to drift. We lose our motivation to take care of ourselves. We stop looking forward to the next day. So ask yourself, what gives my day meaning? It doesn't have to be a big mission. It could be tending a garden, helping a neighbor, calling your grandchildren, writing your story, learning a skill, volunteering. Your purpose is anything that gives you a reason to get out of bed and feel like you matter, and you do matter. So now take a moment. Out of all the habits we just talked about, sunlight, stretching, good food, sleep, laughter, purpose, which one are you ready to start with today? Don't try to do it all at once, just one. One small thing that reminds your body, your mind, and your heart that you are still alive and still in charge. Because this is your life. And these little daily habits, they're how you reclaim it. But there's one more piece we haven't touched yet, one that matters just as much as the rest: your future. The life you still have ahead, the goals, the dreams, and yes, the legacy you want to leave behind. In the next part, we're going to talk about that, about planning for the future, not with fear, but with intention. Because the best way to respect the life you've lived is to shape the life that's still to come. Let's talk about that next. Let's pause here and ask a different kind of question. Have you thought about how you want to be remembered? Not just the things you've done, but the way you lived, the way you made people feel, the values you passed on, the stories you told, the love you gave. Because whether we realize it or not, every single day we're building a legacy. And the truth is, after 60, your time becomes more precious. That doesn't mean it's running out. It means it's becoming more meaningful. You've lived decades. You've gained wisdom. And now, you have the power to shape the next chapter with intention, not just memory. So let's talk about what that actually means. First, let's redefine the word legacy. Most people think it means money or property. But real legacy, it's not in a bank account, it's in your impact. It's the advice your children still repeat, the comfort your presence brings, the way your life quietly changes someone else's. And to leave a legacy like that, you don't need to be wealthy. You just need to live intentionally. One of the most powerful ways to do that, reflect on what brings you joy. Today, ask yourself, what lights you up? What brings peace? What makes you feel alive? Too often after 60, people begin to shrink their lives. They start saying things like, I'm too old for that now, or it's too late to start something new. But that mindset, that's a habit that steals your joy long before time ever does. You're not too old to travel, to try something new, to repair a relationship, to write the book you always dreamed of. The only limit is the one you place on yourself. So give yourself permission to still dream, still plan, still say yes to life. Here's a practical exercise. Make a joy list. Not a bucket list. A joy list. Write down 10 things, small or big, that bring you happiness. It could be visiting a local park, learning to paint, baking for your family, or watching the sunrise without distraction. Then choose one and make it happen this week. Because a life built on small joys becomes a legacy of warmth and peace. Now let's talk about something more grounded. Financial peace of mind. This isn't about becoming rich. It's about feeling safe. Many people over 60 live with silent money stress, worrying about medical costs, bills, or leaving behind burdens for their family. But pushing those thoughts away doesn't make them disappear. Planning does. Start by asking yourself, do I have a clear view of my finances? Do I know what's coming in, what's going out, and what I might need in the future? Even a simple monthly budget can reduce anxiety dramatically. You don't need spreadsheets, just a clear notebook and honesty. Know what you need, know what you have. And if you feel overwhelmed, ask for help. Talk to a financial advisor. Reach out to someone you trust. There is no shame in asking questions, only strength. Also, consider creating a simple will or power of attorney document. Not because you expect the worst, but because you love your family. When you plan now, you remove guesswork and stress for the people you care about most. That is love in action. Another part of planning for the future, protecting your health. We've already talked about daily habits, but future planning includes checkups, screenings, and conversations. Don't wait until something feels wrong. Prevention is power. Know your numbers, blood pressure, cholesterol, bone density. Stay on top of your appointments. Stay informed. Your body is not the enemy. It's your partner. Now there's another kind of planning we often avoid, emotional closure. Are there conversations you've been putting off? Apologies left unsaid, forgiveness that's long overdue. One of the heaviest burdens we carry as we age is unfinished emotional business. And often we convince ourselves that there's no point in trying, but that's not true. One honest conversation can set your heart free. One letter, one phone call, one moment of courage can release years of silent regret. So if there's someone on your heart, reach out, not for their sake, for yours. Because freedom doesn't come from forgetting. It comes from choosing peace over pride. And now, let's come full circle to the essence of all of this. What will your days look like from here on out? That's the most important part of future planning. Not the papers or the savings or the what-ifs. It's the everyday moments, the routines you build, the energy you pour into the people you love, the presence you bring to your own life. So today, start making that shift. Don't wait for the right time or next year. Today is the time. Start planning the kind of life you want to wake up to. Not just for the next 10 years, but for tomorrow morning. Because you're still writing your story, and every good story has a powerful ending. Yours can be full of purpose, peace, laughter, and impact. Not because everything is perfect, but because you chose it to be. Now that we've looked toward the future, there's one final piece to complete the picture, and it may be the most important of all. Because while it's important to prepare for tomorrow, it's just as important to fully live today. So in our final part, let's talk about presence, about how to truly embrace each moment, about how to wake up, breathe in life, and say, this is mine. Let's finish strong. Let's talk about living fully, right now. Take a deep breath with me, right now. In through your nose, and out through your mouth. Just like that. Now, look around you. Notice the room, the light, the sounds. That breath you just took, that moment right there, that's life. And too often we miss it while we're busy thinking about the past or worrying about the future. We've talked about the habits that steal time. We've talked about the importance of movement, mindset, emotion, and planning. But now I want to bring you home to something simpler, something deeper. The power of being fully alive, right here, right now. Because no matter your age, your energy, your health, you still have this day, and this day is not over yet. Let me ask you gently, how often do you find yourself living in the past, thinking about how things used to be, wishing you could go back and fix something, missing someone, regretting a choice, or maybe it's the future that weighs on you, worrying about your health, your finances, what might happen next. And while your mind is everywhere else, life is quietly unfolding around you. But here's a truth I want you to remember. Life is not later. Life is now. It's not 5 years from now. It's not when you finally retire. It's not after your back feels better or after you've paid off the bills. It's this moment, these minutes, this breath. And when you start to really understand that, something inside you shifts. You begin to realize that joy is available today. Peace is possible today, even in the middle of uncertainty, even if everything isn't perfect. So how do you start living fully in the present? It begins with awareness, noticing the small things again, the warmth of your coffee cup, the way sunlight hits the floor, the smile of a stranger, the laugh of a grandchild, the feel of your own heartbeat, steady, still fighting for you. These are not background details. These are your life. You don't need to escape to a beach or go on some spiritual retreat. You just need to pay attention. Try this tomorrow when you wake up before you check your phone or reach for the news. Place your hand over your chest. Feel your heart. Say to yourself, I'm still here. It's simple, but it grounds you. It reminds you that you're not behind, you're alive. Another powerful tool, slowing down. We live in a world that pushes you to move fast, even after 60. Rush to the next appointment. Finish the chores, answer the calls. But rushing steals meaning. So slow down, walk slower, eat slower, speak slower, breathe slower. Let your day stretch. Let silence sit with you without feeling awkward. Because in stillness, you reconnect with yourself. And that's where your strength lives. Here's something else that matters. Presence in relationships. When you sit with someone you love, really be with them. Not just in the same room, but in the same moment. Look into their eyes. Listen to their stories. Ask how they really feel. Because one day, those moments will be the things you remember most. And the truth is, they'll remember them too. You may not realize how deeply your presence touches others, but it does. Now let's talk about one of the biggest obstacles to living fully. The belief that it's too late to start over. Too late to change, too late to matter. But let me be crystal clear. It is never too late to live a full life. Not ever. Your best days don't have to be behind you. They can be today. They can be today. They can be tomorrow. Because happiness doesn't follow a schedule. It shows up when you decide to welcome it. So say yes to the walk. Yes to the phone call. Yes to writing your story. Yes to the new recipe. Yes to singing out loud in the kitchen. Yes to dancing when no one's watching. Yes to forgiving yourself. Yes to trying. Again, that's what living fully looks like. It's not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's choosing to smile at the morning light, choosing to thank your legs for carrying you, even when they ache, choosing to be proud of the journey, your journey. And as we come to the end of this conversation, I want to leave you with this. You are not behind. You are not running out. You are right on time. You are a living, breathing reminder that strength doesn't fade, it shifts. That wisdom doesn't wrinkle, it deepens. And that joy isn't something to chase, it's something to notice. So here's my gentle challenge to you. What is one thing you can do today to live more fully? Maybe it's calling a friend you miss. Maybe it's taking a walk just to feel the breeze. Maybe it's writing down your favorite memory from childhood. Whatever it is, do it. Don't wait. And if this message spoke to you, leave a comment below. Tell us what you're going to do today to bring life into your day. Share this with someone you care about. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more conversations like this, designed just for you, because you deserve to feel strong, healthy, and inspired at every age. This isn't the end of your story. It's just a new beginning, and I can't wait to see what you do with it.